Hey everybody, this is our very first podcast coming to you live here in Portland. My name is Esaie.
Yep, my name is Weezy Ian Williams.
We are here to bring you the Kickin' Knowledge podcast. It's a weekly podcast that intends to impart knowledge of the sneaker industry through informative interviews with industry insiders.
Curated stories around the sneaker releases that fed and created the culture.
Filmed and recorded in the Pencil Maker Studio in Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
Today we have some exceptionally esteemed guests on the show. In the sneaker community, you probably know their names, whether you know their faces. And I think we can just go ahead and go down the line and start with the man at the end, holding the young future sneaker royalty man right there. The one and only Mr. Retrokid.
My name is Alex Wayne. I also go by Retrokid. And thanks for having me.
Thanks for having him.
Hey. Big deal.
Up next, we have our man, the one and only Mr. Phase 2.
Yep.
Hey, what's up? This is Phase 2, Jermaine Tolentino from Alaska. Once again, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And you guys probably have gone broke at his shop already and everything. But at one point, the man was broke on Jordans, the one and only BrokeOnJordans.
Hey, what's up? My name's T. I also go by BrokeOnJordans. I'm here with some friends, and we're gonna talk some good stuff.
Hey, T, don't be scared, man.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared.
All good. And I think, you guys can't see him. We got some great folks here out here making sure that Sneaker Week PDX is having a great start for his first year. We got the one and only secret man back behind the camera, the good man John Colombo. I think you guys have seen a few of his videos that some of these young rappers and R&B guys happen to be a part of. And he also leads a nice platform called SNKR Inc.
Yep.
And then we also have our esteemed staff here with us from the rest of the Sneaker Week crew. All right, let's get a round of applause for everybody.
And shout out to the good people that came through from Arizona. Hey, all the way here just for the week, Sneaker Week, man. That's dope, man. It really means a lot. So shout out to those guys, man. Whole whole squad.
There it is. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. All right. So first, look. We all know what Riker's doing right now. If anybody's watching this on Instagram Live, it's Kick the Knowledge on Instagram, and we see young Riker crushing a nice plum green packet. But Alex, tell us what you do.
I love sneakers. That's pretty much defined my entire life. So that led to co-founding of Soul Collector magazine. It led to a great career at Nike, and just I love everything about sneakers. Just from the design to the sporting events to the technology, and just I think overall the community. I think that's one of the greatest things about what brings all of us together is a piece of footwear that we grow up with. It's just something you wear that you make great friends, and you learn a lot of things, and it's been fantastic.
It's a beautiful thing. Jermaine.
So like I said before, I'm from Alaska, and I was born and raised there. After, I don't know, how long, 26, 27 years of living there, I decided to move to Oregon to further pursue my career in the footwear industry. And here I am. I mean, like Alex said, we're all here for the same reason. We love footwear. It's been a big part of my life for a long time, and I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Yep. What about you, T, man? Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, bro.
So I'm a co-owner of Index. It's a sneaker consignment store downtown Portland in Chinatown. I'm from Northeast Portland. Me and my best friend opened Index in 2013
What's your friend's name, man?
Mikey.
Hey.
Shout out Mike.
Mikey Index on IG.
Mikey Index. We basically grew up collecting sneakers. We started in the early 2000s, and basically started selling them in like mid 2000s to get other sneakers. So a couple years later, we were like, man, Portland doesn't have anything like like all the big cities like LA, New York, and seeing all like the sneaker stores that are over there. We were like, man, we need to do something cool for our city. So we saved up some money for a couple years and traveled around, and here we are.
Just making sure we also harp in on the fact that this is a very social world. You guys might share what your social handles are, just so people can follow you and stay up with you, just in case they want to know.
Yeah. So mine is T Index. So it's TEE Index.
Mine is Phase 2 PHASE2.
Instagram, Retrokid45. Twitter is Retrokid23. Don't ask me. Everyone seems to take Retrokid something. Retrokid. just
That's
by
good.
itself.
That's all right, man. I'm sure they already follow all y'all, but it's good to have that info down. So, just straight up, like when did you first start collecting, and when did you know that you were like collecting? Jermaine, why don't you go ahead and start it out, man?
Oh man, so I started out collecting in the early 2000s. This was before the social media boom. I would say around 2002, 2001. I was doing nothing but Air Force One collecting, and I love the Dunk, the Nike Dunk Low in particular. I didn't really get into Air Jordans until 2003 when the White Cement 3 came out, and that was my very first Jordan. And I guess everything snowballed after that. But yeah, ever since then, I mean, times have changed. It's been a long time, to say the least.
True that.
But I'm glad I did what I did back then, because it's brought me here today.
Yeah, I think I saw a photo of you in the Soul Collector magazine that you showed me maybe a year ago. You and your brothers in the snow.
The snow
They
one.
featured a Jordan collector from every city, from every state. And it was like you and your bros just standing in the snow. Your hair was way different.
It was way different.
Man.
So you probably wouldn't even
Hey, I
recognize
still message him about it every once in a while.
it. That's why I said times have changed.
I definitely
So,
show people every once in a while. I'm like, you know who this is? They're like, no.
Hey, you were rocking that box logo though.
Yeah,
No, dude.
it's an
I remember
evolution.
that.
So.
Yeah.
T, when would you say was your very first time?
So my first lineup experience was in 2000 when the Space Jam dropped. That was when they were dropping sneakers on like Thursdays, so I had to skip school to go get it, and that was interesting. I picked up 2 pairs. That was my first double. That was my first double cop doing there. It actually let you buy more than one, and I bought at Champs at Lloyd Center, and put them on the Max going to
Shout
school.
out
And,
to Lloyd Center.
yeah, there you go.
Jam.
And that's really what started it. Honestly, like people thought I was crazy, but I was like, hey man, when you love a shoe and you've been wanting it to come out for a long time, I wanted to get 2, and that's really where it started. I mean, that from what I remember.
Hey, Alex, what was Riker's first shoe? No. What's your first shoe, man?
My first shoe.
Well, the first shoe that got you started collecting and everything.
I mean, the Jordan 4 by far is the best piece of footwear of all time, I believe. But I think it officially started in 1997 with the Jordan 12 when I worked at Foot Locker, and I would buy one to wear and play in, and then I would always use the discount and I would get another one. And then over the years, I noticed like.
Sorry about the construction, folks.
It's real. This is life.
Yeah.
All right. Chinatown's booming.
is.
Booming in Portland.
Sneakers got
It
booming.
is.
Yeah.
I would notice after a while I would have 2 of everything. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go backwards and get all the old Jordans and then go forwards and buy all the new Jordans. So I think from 97, 98, that's when it started.
Good strategy.
Gotcha. So we kind of got on what your first shoe was. Did people think you guys were like, did you feel like your friends or people around you thought you were weird or different because you were collecting?
Me personally, sorry. Yeah, only like I'm from Northeast Portland. Everybody's wearing Jordans where I'm from. So to buy 2, yeah, it was kind of like, what's the point? But when you know they're not going to come back out for a long time, it doesn't really matter what people think to me. Yeah, I mean, my mom thought I was crazy. She was like, you work hard for your money. Why are you out here buying 2 pairs of sneakers? But at the same one. But no, I just pushed it along and kept it going.
Would you tell her when she asked you like why you were buying 2 pairs?
I just told her, hey, look, man, these are awesome. See, she knew that I was always into sneakers, like from a very early age. So she kind of understood, but she made fun of me 100%. I told her, hey, look, this is something I really like, and she always backed me 100%, like anything I was passionate about. So she understood.
Real quick, when did you realize that you were a collector? When did you realize that,
It's a very sad but true story, but honestly, it wasn't even shoes first. It was comic books in about the 5th or 6th grade. Started looking and wanting certain comics and realizing that they must have been really good because they were more expensive than the other ones.
Hey.
So I started trying to get a comic book box. And
There you go.
being a little bit older than you guys, being an inner city kid and everything, your parents didn't have a lot, so it was a thing where you learn how to use a toothbrush and keep your shoes clean.
Hey.
So I'd honestly say it's probably that. And plus, I'm not from Portland. I'm from DC, DMV. Shout out DMV.
Hey.
They represent.
Jam. Oh, jam.
But basically, the Air Force One was my first shoe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, actually, Alex, you collect other things other than just sneakers. Like yeah. I think I seen on your Instagram. You collect some other stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm kind of a big Supreme guy.
Unfortunately?
Well,
Yeah, you don't say.
Oh, jam.
I grew up skateboarding in high school too, so I like to say I'm not a complete poser, but semi-poser.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Supreme hat right now.
That's all right. And I think I saw some.
He's right here.
Oh yeah. Young retro kid is out here, just letting everybody know he about to be a boss soon. But I think I saw you had like some Nintendo stuff. Like
Video games.
Yeah.
That's my other passion. I have pretty much every console and trying to get all the consoles and all the classic games from my youth. Another meaning for a retro kid.
Ah,
Gotcha.
that's dope. That's super dope.
Two birds, one stone.
What up?
Jermaine, what would you say what was the first one for you?
Well, first shoe to
What was a shoe that actually like really like just got your soul, got your emotion?
So, like I said before, I started out with nothing but white on white Air Force Ones. It was like 2001. I was a young high school kid. White on white lows and mids. It's funny because I didn't mess with the highs back then. Now I don't even mess with mids. Yeah, so it's lows and highs for me today. But nothing but Air Force Ones. My first non-white Air Force One was a white with orange contrast stitching. It was a mid that I purchased in 2002 from Nike Town, Honolulu. I don't even know if that's opening.
Nah, it's closed.
It's closed. Yeah,
It's
but I remember buying it there.
Memories.
And after that, white cement Air Jordan 3 in 2003. I remember looking,
Classic.
going to Foot Lockers, looking through East Bay catalogs in years past, with just seeing white True Blue Air Jordan 3 retros, white mochas, and I had buddies with the True Blues. Yeah,
They're about to make a comeback.
Dead Stock Coffee Jordan 3.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
It is.
All over
Hey,
it.
Jordan, bro, hit me up.
Yeah. So yeah, the white cement 3 really, I guess started the avalanche because I got nothing but Jordans after that, and I've gone through a lot of different phases, to say the least.
Phase one.
Yeah. So went through the Jordan phase, and all the old orange and silver box SBs, things like that. But really, the white cement 3 kind of drifted me away from white on white Air Force Ones.
At what point did you realize that you were like a part of a community and you weren't alone? Like, at what point was that key moment that created that connection for you and the establishment of the community and stuff?
The internet.
Yep.
The
I was
internet.
just about to point to
Sneaker
Alex.
message boards, different avenues of, talking to people across the country, a little bit before eBay started also, but just seeing a board solely for sneakers and talking about sneakers and exchanging information about sneakers.
What board would that be?
Well, Nike Park first, but
There
then
you
Nike
go.
Talk.
Jam.
Shout out for Nike.
Shout out to Nike.
Yeah.
DMV section. Shout out to all my DMV sections. Wale, Sneaker Man Dan, Boney Starks, all the good folks from Maryland and DC and Virginia. All you guys that really did it first.
Check out the what did
Oh,
you
jam.
Oh, I remember those.
Sneaker showcase?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember those.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Well,
I thought-
piggybacking off of that though.
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought that was weird at first. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, what did you
I
wear
was like,
today?
I don't know about this. And then it really
Soul
blew up.
Collector Forums was big. Back then it was called ISS.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes.
Install shoes
Yeah.
and ISS.
Jam.
Shoes on that.
The marketplace.
Yeah.
That was a really big deal. That's when I pretty much felt like, I was part of a community. But yeah, this is back when you could only buy shoes outside of the big chains. Like you could buy your shoes at Vintage Kicks. Mm-hmm. Pick your shoes. Places like that,
Shoe trends.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Vintage USA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nike Talk was a big one, but what really hit me hard was it's the Soul Collector magazine. That's when I started seeing like people with their collections like actually on a mainstream level in a magazine that was done correctly. Like it wasn't just janky. It was actually like really good. And obviously Alex knows everything about this, and that's what really hit me hard, was like, whoa. Because I didn't get into the forums until like, I want to say like 2003 on Nike Talk. And but a couple years later, they're already doing the magazine Soul Collectors. So, and that's what really got me. I was like, whoa, this is, I'm not alone, you know? But I also had friends in Portland that did it as well, but we all dig those Soul Collector magazines. That's what really stands out to me, because I wasn't huge on Nike Talk. I was more into the Soul Collector days.
Are there any other, like, who would you consider your contemporaries in that space in terms of people who have collections close to yours, or, you know, I mean, we know who they are, but the listening community doesn't know half those people and stuff like that.
So people that I kind of like looked up to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously Alex, he was, you know, I knew about him, you know, probably one of the first collectors that was like brought to the mainstream, to be honest with you, and like that
One of the first people, really big people I knew.
yeah.
Was,
So yeah, Retrokid for sure, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, back in DC, we didn't know. I mean, like, ISS was like a legitimate place to look at. And,
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, it was like definitive information came. You know, because that's another good thing I like to ask about. Like, the reason why we actually had the three of you on here is because you guys give unique perspectives on what different arenas are and everything in terms of collecting. And I asked a question earlier about what was your first shoe, but like, if you had to pick a category per se, or is there a defined space that your collections live in? Like, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming I know you, so I
Yeah.
guess, you know.
Jordan Brand, 100%. Yeah. That's all I really paid attention to my whole life.
Okay.
I mean, Penny was right there too, but Jordan Brand for sure, like without a doubt. Yeah.
It's kind of tough for me because if you know me and my collecting habits, I'm kind of a chameleon. So I love all things under the Nike umbrella, whether it's vintage, you know, SMUs to, you know, cleated, Nike basketball, old NSW products, all the above. So anything that fits under the Nike umbrella.
Is there anything like specific?
Yeah, what are we talking about,
Yeah.
Jermaine?
Yeah.
Come on,
Wait,
Jermaine.
wait,
Come
I'm
on,
trying to get
man.
around the player.
Yeah.
I've got an affinity for, you know, just Jordan Brand products. I mean, anything. Well, naturally, we're
We're talking about, yeah. Come on, man.
you know, I love
Your
PE
niche
prototypes
stuff.
because, you know, naturally we're creatures who want what we can't have, and these types of shoes aren't available to the public. So, you know, you want them, and that's how it is.
Yeah, I've been to the phase layer.
Yes.
Phase labs.
The phase layer.
And I've seen some stuff that, you know, I spent my fair amount of time working on campus, and I was even a janitor, so I saw some stuff I probably wasn't supposed to see. And at his house, I really have seen some stuff I probably have never supposed to see. So I mean, he's skating around it. He got a big smile on his face because he knows it's legit. This is the only dude I know. I was walking down the street in New York with Jermaine at the All-Star a few years ago, and and we walk into a pop-up shop across from Barclays, and Clark sees him. DJ Clark Kent sees him and goes, "Oh snap!" He didn't say snap. It's like, it's phase 2, and he was so hyped, and he was like, "Man, the only man I know, one of the only people I know that can battle my collection." So that's crazy, man. And then he was like, "Yo, what's up, Ian?"
Hey, Ian.
Big shout out to Clark Kent. He's a true OG in the game.
Oh, damn.
Sweet.
Shout out to Clark Kent. He's the truth, man.
Yeah.
But with that said, I mean, my collection isn't anything compared to these guys around me. These guys have insanity
Oh,
stuff.
them two. Yeah.
Nah.
You too.
Nah.
Both of you guys.
All, yeah.
All you guys.
I just pour coffee on my shoes all the time.
Exactly.
I don't have nice things.
Alex, what would you say?
Nice things.
For people, I like the people that have been in the game a long time. I mean, I turned 40 this year.
Oh, shout out.
I have a bigger appreciation for
Damn.
a lot of the vintage guys. So Corgi Shoe, big shout out to
Hey.
him. You know, he's been stocking forever.
Oh,
He's been
damn.
for days. Actually, there's a bunch of new old guys that have created a new group on Instagram, OG Support Group. Have you seen those guys?
No.
Yeah.
No, tell
Big shout out to the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh, was it OG Sneak? Was it?
Damn.
Yeah, there's iJapino and Scholar 23 and OG Sneaker Nerd, and they've kind of resurrected this like love for information. I think that's what's missing nowadays. A lot of people just
Agree.
like
The reason we're doing this.
yeah, a lot of people post just to like post a rare thing. These guys post to like tell stories, and like it's fun reading about them and just seeing like all the stuff that I grew up with and all the stuff that these kids should read about. I think information is power. So
Terrence and I had a conversation, and I think Terrence's wife and I had a conversation about how important it is to kind of get that provenance around the product and everything, just so you can actually have an opportunity to, sell the stuff better through your store and everything too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree, man. For sure.
But yeah, okay, cool.
So why is this thing important to you guys? Like, why is this because really, shoes are just like these things that you put on your feet, and they're sometimes used for performance, but really you just got to get to and from, right? So why does it even matter? Why does collecting even matter to you guys?
Yeah, take your time, go deep on this. Give us the nuances that make sense for why this is important to you.
Well, like Alex said, when you've been doing it a long time, it's just it becomes basically your image, it's like something that you're so recognized, it's just so normal to us. And to see it, keep going, I mean, that's a good thing, because it's one of those things that we're passionate about at a younger age, and we're going to be passionate about until we grow old. And to see it blow up like this is I think really cool.
Yeah.
And in other generations, not to be corny or anything, but seriously, other generations learn from people that are full of knowledge, Jermaine here, like you guys. I mean, 100%. I mean, that's why I respect what you guys are doing so much here. I think that's important, to just keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Let people feel how we used to feel or still feel, but growing up in the sneaker game. I mean, it's I think it's really important for older people to cast information, like we were just talking earlier. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's really important right now, because it is slipping right now. A lot of people are just posting just rare stuff and stuff, but doesn't have a story behind it. And I think it's a lot of stuff is losing substance, to be honest with you. But that's just
Yeah. This one's for me. I guess it's two-part. Sneakers are important to me. One, because I'm a nerd, and I like knowing
Shout out
anything.
to all the nerds out there.
Yeah, anything and everything.
Jam.
About, footwear in general. We all know footwear is footwear. There's a culture behind footwear, but it's product. It's a necessity. Humans need footwear. We need shoes to cover our feet, and I love knowing anything and everything about it. Whether it's ideation, concept to creation, prototyping, everything. I love it all.
Do you find that across other products as well, or just footwear?
Just footwear. Yeah. But anyone can have any passion towards any object.
Yeah.
So that's my part A. And I guess my part B is footwear and shoe collecting in general is important to me because of friendship. I've met a lot of great people because of footwear. I moved my entire life with my fiance Lizzie from Alaska to Oregon because of footwear. And I'm glad I did. I met people like Ian, Terrence, Esaie. I've known Alex for 10 plus years through footwear.
He's like, come on, man, dang.
I think we've all known each other on well, not all of us. I'm not gonna front. I was too enamored with honestly, I thought you were the PE guy, and I was like, I can't call this guy. Whatever.
Nah.
But you're friends with Alex and stuff. So.
Yeah, Alex the God. No, but
I was oh man.
No, but like I
Shucks.
said though, footwear is important to me because I've met so many great people through footwear, developed a lot of great relationships, and I wouldn't change anything if I could travel back in time. And it's maybe who I am today.
Beautiful thing.
That is.
yeah, I think Terrence and Jermaine touched on pretty much everything I was gonna say too. So I'll just add this: footwear is important because of the feeling. The feeling you get remember when you're younger and you get your first pair of shoes on the first day of school, or you saw Michael Jordan fly from the free throw line and you wanted those, or
Oh, jam.
somewhere the feeling that you get is what I'll definitely remember, and I hope people can take away from that. Just
Young retro.
Young record.
If you're retro, doing straight, I'm out, man.
sorry, the memories, just the feelings and how sneakers make you feel. I mean, it's just a piece of footwear, but it definitely makes you feel something.
I want to go back too, because I think we got it from the other guys, but we didn't actually get exactly what your collection is comprised of. 'Cause I know there's I have a view of what I think you do, but it'd be awesome for you to share what you think.
I mean, primarily Jordans, but SBs, rarities, samples, promos, but I think also tech.
Yeah.
Like I love the air pressure just because of what it was for the time and what it stood for. I love the shocks R4 because again of the technology that it brought to the space. Now Hyper Adapt, VaporMax, different technologies that over the years have either succeeded or failed. Like the Avidian or the Morph technology. All of that.
Can you share a little more on the Avidian and Morph technology? Because I'm sure some of these kids have no idea.
Oh well, the Avidian was an original skate shoe that you could flip inside out. So basically you wear it and then you would have like a blue color and then you would literally take the shoe and flip it inside out and it'll be like yellow or red or something. It didn't work, but at least they tried something new. And also same thing with the Morph technology. I forgot what it stood for exactly, but it was like a shell. So you would buy the base shoe and it would have an air bubble and like the monkey paw technology, and then you would have a cover. Different types of covers, like there's a Jason Kidd model, there's a Scottie Pippen model, and then you would take the existing base shoe and shove it into this exo skin with an outsole and all the design elements, and then when you would wear it out, get another shell, so to speak. So again, anything like that, like Reebok pumps or like Vans over the years, like Vauxhall and all that, Waffle and Checkerboard, like anything that's unique and moves sneakers forward, because again, like if you don't move forward, like you're just going to be stale for a while. So I think technology is always going to be cool.
Well, look, I'm gonna jab a little bit on that one there, but you call yourself Retro Kid. We're talking about technology. We all know that retros kind of lead a lot in footwear for the collecting phase, but what's that balance like? And I'd love all you to kind of speak on this. Like, what's the importance of the balance of the retro with the new?
Oh, I think it's important because
You're just on a roll, man. I'm letting you speak. I want to hear him
it's
speak.
important because again, the retros represent stuff from the past, and that's always going to be important to remember, like your first Air Max model. But again, you can't rely on it forever because you can only buy so many Air Max 1s and Air Force 1s. So innovation is key, and again, I think that's a good balance between what the Jordan brand's trying to do. You see a lot of the Jordan retros, different colorways over the years, but again, like you see Russ just killing it. Like the 31, the 30.5, 32, like I like the 32. I think it looks pretty cool.
I like the 32.
Yeah. I'm gonna get the red ones and probably some other colors, and from what I heard, it plays really well. So it's really important.
No, I definitely agree with everything Alex said. Just it's tough because finding the right balance of retro and old school, new school, it's always a tough argument. But if you don't push the boundaries, you can't really progress and move forward. If a shoe releases that's brand new and everyone likes the shoe design, that the designers didn't push the boundaries and it's probably too safe. If it's polarizing, half the people love it, half the people hate it.
Jam.
You know what I mean? Like that's my opinion. But with every shoe design that launches, you can't please every consumer. So you need a little bit, you need to sprinkle a little bit here, a little bit there, and you got to diversify with your designs because, that's what I think. That's just my 2 cents.
I totally agree with what they said. It's one of those things that my friend and I had a conversation about this the other day, and we were talking about retros and the new stuff, and basically retros to me will always be cool. As classics, you can't go wrong. There's Jordan 1s, they retro for 20, 30 more years and they'll still be rocked in my eyes. But I think, I pretty much stay close to like Jordan brand and like follow what they do. I think that they do need to work on all the newer stuff first, because they'll always have those retros in the past, but I think you really need to focus on the new stuff, like hardcore, because that's a more important one, because that can carry you for more generations. You can retro a 32, 15 years from now. And if it's fire, you got more ammo, you know what I'm saying, to bring to the table. And that's what I think, going forward, what they should focus on more than just retros. I think they need to slow down on retros, personally. We get it. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of a big deal. I think, coming from you, being that you work in, you have like retail, which, you're dealing with whatever's just coming out, and then you have consignment. You're dealing in things that really only people want.
Yeah.
So hearing you say that is that I'm not like dissing or anything like that, but that's like it's important, and I don't know how much the brands pay attention to what's going on in consignment shops.
Mm-hmm.
But consignment shops are really actually like consignment shops.
It's-
People who resell like that. That's really
It's ground zero.
That's what's going down.
Yeah.
You know, so you know that's a really dope point, especially hearing you talk about the longevity of some of
Mm-hmm.
this product and what they're doing currently and what that could mean moving forward. I mean, look at what Adidas is doing right now.
Mm.
I mean, Ultra Boost, you can bring out Ultra Boost for the next millennium.
Yeah, they're dope. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, that's a good point. You know, Ultra Boost. I mean, they made a classic that's super comfortable, which is really hard to do. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. And we talk about it a lot. And you are right. I mean, consignment stores. That's where ground zero talk comes from, man. Like, you know, that's where it's happening, man. I mean, we put out there what is relevant. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the future for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. If we had to ask a question of you and ask you what your grail is, what is your grail? I mean, we know what you just established your brand that you love and the models you love and everything. What is your grail?
For those who don't know, Grail is like a shoe that you really wanted or that you really want. That's hard to get, you know. The Holy Grail.
Yeah, the Holy Grail, literally, like your almost unattainable shoe.
Yeah.
I want to hear what they have to say first. I don't know, man. I want to hear it. I'm interested.
I wonder if some of you actually already own your grails.
Oh man.
I'll start off with that one. I
Yeah.
actually do own my Grail. It's tough because everyone has their own definition of Holy Grail. But here's a backstory. So my favorite basketball player of all time is Ray Allen,
Yeah.
and my favorite silhouette
Jam.
is the Air Jordan 23. So, I mean, I don't really like wearing the 23, but as far as aesthetics go, I love the overall design, lateral side, medial side, outsole, everything is awesome. So, in March of 2008, Ray Allen wore the white and green Air Jordan 23 against the 76ers at home
Hey, shout out
in
to
Boston.
the Sixers. Shout out to the Sixers.
So,
Philly.
as soon as I
Jam.
saw images of him wearing the white and green Air Jordan 23, I knew I had to have it. So that was March 2008. I eventually tracked down a pair December 2008.
Oh man, that was no time.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
You know, you'd think, it'd take years and years and years to track down your Grail, but to this day, look at all my interviews, everything, I always say that's my favorite shoe of all time.
That's dope.
Grails, yeah, I've actually talking to Jermaine about this before we started. We always have like a top 10 list, and you look for it, and then you get it, and then you're like, oh, I'm done. Now what? So I made a new top 10, and then I got all those. And I'm like, oh, I'm done. So now my ultimate Grail is the Jordan 1 from '85, the University of Washington colors. People think it's a Lakers colorway also, but it's the white, purple, and gold.
Yeah, those are crazy.
I've seen one pair in LA in person, and I've never seen one since.
Y'all help.
Oh yeah, size 10,
Yeah.
or
Help
anywhere
find
near
this.
there.
Size 10, University of Washington.
Washington, yeah.
Jordan.
Was that the pair with the
That's
writing on the
yeah,
side?
crazy.
Somebody
There's some
got it.
writing on the side panel, yeah.
I've only seen
Oh,
the magazine.
jam.
That's the one that's been photographed.
Yeah, that's the only one. Yeah.
Help him.
T-Web.
Yeah.
But then it changes. There's always another Jordan or Dunk or something to look for. So it never ends. That's part of the fun.
The question on that will be like, I'll let you answer. I'll let you answer first. Well, Mike Pop.
Oh.
What's your grill?
Oh man. I mean, I do own my Grail. It's because same as these guys, PEs do interest me very heavily. I got a GP Away 12. I've been chasing that shoe for years. So black and purple. It's one of those things that I've been chasing for a very long time, and it just all the deals sunk since 2003. But I finally obtained them like a couple years ago, and I was like, man, I was so happy. But that's a PE Grail. Like there's different genres of Grails for me. Like honestly, like a promo sample would be obviously the Eminem 4. I mean, I'm gonna stick to Jordan Brand all day. But the Eminem 4 when it first came out, I tried to get that a few times too, but unfortunately I'm a size 13, and there was only a few pairs made, and it was really hard to get.
Size 13 Eminem 4s.
Yeah, and now it's so massively known that it's just kind of watered down, but I still love it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been chasing that sneaker since day one, right when I saw him, and I was like, man, I had to have it, but I never got it, and I don't know if I'll ever get it now that the prices are like in the 20,000 and up.
That's a good question. To answer the next one, but how much is too much for a pair of kicks?
20,000.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, I mean, like
Yeah.
people spend money like that.
Yeah.
Like what's, I mean, you know, you see, I'm sure.
We know people who spend money
Somebody like
personally.
that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Honestly, with me, I mean, it comes down to like, you know, what are your priorities? You know, like obviously we all have kids now. We're getting older. Prior to that, though, I mean, you know, it would be easy for me to spend $5,000 on a shoe. You know, if I really, really wanted it. But other than past that, I mean, it's crazy. You know, but you know, I mean, you got like different years, like back like in early 2000s. I mean, spending like $2,000 for a sneaker was crazy.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. That's what, you know, and the Undefeated 4 and M&M 4 really set those off in my world because Jordan Brand. I was like, oh my God, these are going for $4,000. You know, in you know the mid 2000s, that was crazy. But now, I mean, that's nothing. You know, to buy on a pair, you know, to drop on a pair of sneakers. Nowadays, I mean, dude. It'd be hard for me to drop over $1,000 on a pair of sneakers, you know, right now. Just because, I mean, I have a kid,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there's priorities and stuff. But,
Got married.
yeah, but it really depends where you're at in life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but right now, I mean, if I wouldn't spend over $1,000 for a pair of sneakers, probably.
I guess you're in the consignment shop world and everything, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the most expensive shoe you've got up for sale right now, and what's like one of the most expensive shoes you guys probably sold?
So the one right now we have most expensive, I mean, probably be Oregon PEs. We have those all day for like 5,000 plus, and they do sell. The most expensive sneaker we sold was, oh man, this is crazy. So we got, and being a PE guy, this really hit home. A Jordan 7 Kobe PE came in away
So fire.
with embroidered 8 on the inner. And it was brand new, signed, dual signed, and it came with the original box. And it like literally, I was taken back. I was like, "Oh my God, this is like the stuff to, you know." And we priced it at $25K, and they sold right away when we put it up. And it went fast.
I don't even think I
Damn.
was there the day. I happened to be around the day that it came in.
Mm-hmm.
I got a chance to actually see him and like hold him and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even mess with Kobe. I don't know if you know me. You know. But that was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
And I think you guys like went to photograph them or whatever. They
Yeah.
never like hit the site.
Oh
They
no,
were
they,
gone, like-
they hit the site,
Oh,
but
they
it
hit
was
the
like
site.
so
Oh,
fast. It was gone. Yeah,
okay.
no, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to put it out there, you know. So, but it was one of those things. Like, and it was an interesting time in PEs because like Kobe left Adidas and he wasn't signed to anything. So Jordan Brand gave him a few PEs, and that was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And Jesus, man, yeah, it caused a scene. You know, people were like, "Yo, did those really sell for $25,000?" Yeah, TMZ hit us up and everything. We were like,
did that really like do something for like the business and
"Oh yeah, dude.
whatnot?
Yeah." People to this day still ask us, "Yo, did you really sell those for $25,000?" And we're like, "Yeah, I mean, it really happened." You know what I'm saying? Like for that price. But yeah, it was super interesting. I mean, for him to go that fast, I mean, it was just like, whoa, you know, this is crazy. I mean, the sneaker game is wild, you know. That's just what it is right now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Have you guys ever done like the lineups before you were at the place you are now, where I'm sure you might get boxes of good stuff for yourselves and everything?
Oh, basically, like, have I ever like waited in lines for sneakers? Oh, back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And you know, yeah. I mean, that was a way of life back then. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays, I wouldn't do that because I'm just old and I couldn't bear the like Portland weather. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But nowadays, yeah. I mean, but yeah, back in the day, for sure, it was a normal thing for us every weekend. You know?
Jermaine?
Is this the question about lining up or sneaker pricing today?
Both.
Both.
You can start with pricing first and then the lineup. Start pricing first and then the lineup. Yep.
With pricing, I'll agree with T. Pricing today is ridiculous. People willing to spend like thousands and thousands and thousands on a single pair of shoes. And it's hard for me to buy a pair of shoes for 4 digits today. But back in the day, I would. For me, in the late 2000s, I eventually evolved into a consumer who loved quality over quantity. So I would rather have one really rare piece of footwear and spend X amount on a shoe that I love instead of having 3 pairs of shoes that I like, if that makes sense. So it was quality over quantity back then, but after like 10 plus years of doing that, I have both quality and quantity today. But man, I'm in the same boat as T. I mean, these prices today are ridiculous. Count me out. I'm down.
Yeah, I tend to tell the kids nowadays too, like just the reality of, you know, we've been in it for a little bit of time and we've seen, you know, this is another question for you guys, but like, how many pairs of your shoes have been disintegrated over years that you
Oh.
think, you know? Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the thing where I
Yeah.
That
tell
was-
them, like, you know,
yeah.
wear your kicks, you know, get them and wear them.
It's I don't know if you want to go on this first. You collect a lot more older sneakers than I do.
Yeah, well,
You have a lot of older
I've
stuff.
got a lot of old vintage stuff. At one point, I had 16 pairs of original Jordan 1
There you go.
5.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah. I
Jam.
like that stuff
Oh, jam.
eventually.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've even had like original Air Jordan 3s from '88. I had OG True Blue, OG Black.
Oh, jam.
I like vintage pairs. They definitely do disintegrate, but you got to keep in mind I had the luxury of living in Alaska where it's not very humid, so I was all good.
Yeah.
And I've seen some pictures of some shoes that I've like
Oh, yeah.
collection. I'm like, how is it possible?
Yeah.
They're not yellowed or
They
Yeah.
just bring
Agreed.
them outside with the bears.
There you go.
Yeah. We outside of the Bears.
And catch the salmon.
True. What was the second question?
The second question was the lineup situation. Like, did you line up ever in Alaska or in not
I
Alaska?
did. Well, I did. No, I did.
Yeah.
I did. So that's the thing. I mean, I remember lining up for a few Jordan brand releases. Like the first time the Great 5 Retro lined up. I didn't line up to the Extreme
How many people were in line?
5. And that was 2 hours before, the doors opened. Things like that, it was no big deal. But, we had a small community. But I have lined up several times for like big launches, like in 2007, 2006. Soul Collector was doing shoe competitions.
Yeah, I used to
And they
follow
were-
those.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
those were
I
dope.
would travel from Alaska like to Seattle when they released the Seattle Air Max 95s, where the lateral and medial side were different colors. I lined up for 24 hours, and I also did the same thing for the Las Vegas Soul Collector event. They released a Nike Dunk High with 3M panels, white croc,
Those were dope.
like maroon midsole, pink outsole. Yeah, I lined up for.
So fire.
I was
Those
in
are
line.
nice.
I think I was like number 50 something.
I'll put that down as a grab for me.
Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick DePaula and Zach and the
NDP.
crew.
Yeah.
NDP.
So I lined up in the past,
Rest so collective.
yeah, just not in Alaska as much. So, yeah, I have lined up. I know the stress and the rigors it takes.
Oh man, stress for sure.
Yeah.
People cutting and stuff at the last second, and you don't want to like say anything because you don't want to get like kicked out. Like, hey man, you cut. Hey, fuck you. Like, yeah, it was the lineups were stressful, man.
Yeah.
Heavily.
If you guys could go back and like literally just remember like the period and everything, what was the sneaker culture truly like when you first started collecting? Like, what was the energy, the happenings, the going ons? Like, how did you interact with it and everything? Like, just what would your day be like as a
So yeah, when I first started collecting, yeah, it was like kind of non-existent. Like, it wasn't, there was nothing really out there. Like I said, I didn't get into like Nike talk until like 2003. So it was just basically like people from Northeast that I would talk to, like friends that I grew up with. They're like, man, you see these Jordans coming out like, next weekend, let's go line up for them, I really started lining up, in like 2003 when I started, like really getting crazy, like with all the retros. Yeah, back then it wasn't, I don't know, it was more like, just talking to your friends about it, you know what I'm saying? And like, it didn't hit like nowadays. I mean, shoot, it's everywhere, But lining up was a big deal, Like I've waited in line for 2 days before, for a pair of black Laser 4s. I remember when they came out at Lifted in Northeast, and I mean they only got like 14 pairs or something like that, and I got only 13. And I mean back then, like Jermaine was saying earlier, the friends you make, it was really. And to go back on like how it was back then, I mean that's what really I miss about it. Talking to people for 2 days straight or a day straight about sneakers, like all day. That's all you did is just sit there and talk about sneakers, and occasionally someone would roll by and fucking scream like, "You guys are idiots," and we'd be like, "Dude, this is what we do." And I remember countless times I've had to explain to people like why the hell I'm waiting for this sneaker, and not come off as a weirdo. Even though I don't really mind coming off as a weirdo. But like, it's one of those things like, that's what was important to me at the time. And that's what went down in the sneaker. And I don't really see that anymore. And that's why we do, that's why like at our store, like Index, like we threw sneaker socials from day one because we missed that stuff, like talking to people, like getting like we've done it with Jermaine. And when people actually get to meet Jermaine, they're like, oh my God, like, and that's what, ultimately what we wanted to do, bring back kind of that line experience from back in the day. And I think, we've done it. A lot of people, have met countless collectors at our store, and they're like, "Yo, that was dope. Thank you for doing that." You know, and that's what it used to be like back in the day, what I experienced. So I don't know, that was important to me.
That's where I met V Phase 2. I was like, over there.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, what's up, man?
I'm Phase 2.
Yeah.
I'm from Alaska.
And now we're that close.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so I have an opinion on this, and, and you know that all of us, I mean, all of the sneaker week as a thing is you know, really for the culture and to bring it back. But
Definitely.
What do you think that online has done, or how did online change what you were just talking about? Or did it change, or whatever?
Oh, definitely. It definitely changed like how the whole experience goes down. I mean, now you can buy anything you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to like know anybody anymore. If you got money, you can just buy whatever the hell you want. Back in the day, it was way different. Like, you had to know somebody, or you had to wait in line for that shit.
Yeah.
You
It's a lot
know?
more fast paced and like instantaneous.
Yeah.
That's just what the consumers are like today, and that's what they expect.
Exactly. And I mean, if you want to weigh in on that, go ahead. Yeah, do
No,
your thing, because
well,
you know too. I mean,
well, here's the thing: it's
Yeah.
changed. But with any industry, if you think it's not going to change, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Change is inevitable,
Yeah.
Change is inevitable.
right? So
Yeah,
that's,
true.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Truth hurts.
and yeah, it's definitely took a change on like everything. I mean, it is a whole different ballgame nowadays.
Well, the question
Not
is,
for
I
the
mean,
bad, but
yeah.
you know, it has its bads and goods. But
For you, what was the sneaker culture like when you first started collecting and stuff back in Alaska? So
Well, it was non-existent in Alaska. I mean, other than me and a few other friends, like my buddy Dan, just a few other people who loved shoes. Like, you know, we were a small community.
did it make it easier for you to come up on everything and all that good stuff?
It did. I remember walking into like a Foot Locker to buy my Cool Gray 4s, 2 pairs. I walked into Nordstrom that same day to get my third pair.
classic.
They were sitting on shelves. I remember seeing old retros like the Olive 9s sitting on the shelf, like it's whatever. The thing is, Alaska, at the time, there wasn't a lot of sneaker, you know, enthusiasts, but there was a shit ton of people who loved basketball. So people bought shoes to hoop it. So they thrashed them. So people knew about shoes. They knew about Nikes. You know, that the culture did exist, but it was a different kind of existence, if you know what I mean. Alaska's definitely isolated, so we weren't really exposed to the culture. I mean, I had friends that lived elsewhere in New York, California, so you know, I was exposed to the culture, and I would always travel from event to event. So that's how I built my connections, like through Nike Talk and ISS. I'd travel to events, and they'd say, "Oh shit, you're Phase 2. You're from Alaska." I'm like, "Yeah," and then we would just keep in touch from there. And that's how I got a lot of crazy stuff, because these guys had access to crazy stuff, and they knew my tastes and my likings, and they'd say, "Oh shit, you know, Jermaine likes this pair. It's time for me to let him go. Let me see if Jermaine wants him." And that's how I got my shoes in Alaska. People always ask, "How the hell did you get this and that in Alaska?" That's how I did it. You know, community.
Yeah.
You know, and it's true.
Community is key.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, even back in those days, I remember thinking when I copped Jordan 16s, my buddies and I stood in line at one store at a Foot Locker in one mall, and some kid walks by and is like, "Yeah, I don't know why everybody's in line over here. They got them at my store." And we leisurely drove over to the other mall, Foot Locker.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, not name dropping, but I had some friends in the music industry or whatever, and they wanted shoes too or whatever. And
Hook 'em up.
like we got, literally, I walked in and bought 6 pairs of Jordan 16s, like no problems, from a Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, yeah. In DC, mind
I
you.
love Jordan 16s.
Must be-
That's actually my favorite Jordan.
Must
I love Jordan
Yeah,
16s, man.
Must be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
That must be nice. Shout out to Biz Marquis. I hope we still got them 16s.
Hey,
Oh,
Biz,
wow.
whoa.
Hey. He said, I'm not
That's some
trying to
shopping,
name
right?
drop.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go ahead and tell you.
It was a thing, you know.
Yeah.
God rest his soul, Monty, his manager, hit us up and was like, "Get shoes for everybody in the crew." And like,
That's
he
dope.
just did, yeah.
Huh?
When did you actually see a shift in the culture, which is like, I think is a big thing?
Honestly, I can like narrow it down to a sneaker. So the DMP pack came out in like, I want to say 2006.
I got DMP story.
Yeah, so that's where I saw a shift. Like when I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
Yes.
I waited in line. It's actually really interesting how I got into line, because it was they were doing Foot Locker was doing basically like employees only. We snuck in and got in line, and they were like, all the employees were like, "Well, how'd you get in here?" Blah blah. And I was like, "Yo, don't say nothing, man. Like, I don't want to hear it. I want to get my shoes, man." You know. Basically, what happened is, so anyways, all the drama going through. The DMP pack really shifted for me, because that's when it like hit super mainstream, man. Like when like they opened the doors and I swear to God, this is Lloyd Center, second level, Foot Locker. I saw the floor and felt the floor shaking. Like, because there was a stampede of people coming up when they opened the doors.
Shout out to Jordan Brand for making Stampede.
It was crazy.
Oh,
And
damn.
people flew by us, and there was probably like probably like 18 of us in line, and that's literally all they had pretty much. There wasn't a lot of packs at this Foot Locker. And I knew at that point, I was like, yo, shit just got crazy, man. Like, this is nuts. You know, there was like hundreds and hundreds of people, and the security guards couldn't do anything. They were just like powerless, you know. People were literally, and I was telling you, yo, there's not that many sizes, you know, blah, blah. And after a minute, I just kept my mouth shut. What happened is, though, after I left, a mom begged me to, like, buy these sneakers off me, like, when I was walking out for her son. And he was sitting there, like, all pathetic looking, like, oh, I don't get my DMPs. I'm like, yo, dude, like, sorry, I would really, you know, want to make you happy, but I can't because I waited in line for this. And, like, there was a lot of stress involved with this, you know? But when moms are asking me to buy these sneakers for, like, double the price that I just bought it for, and mind you, this was new to me back in the day. Like, I wasn't really selling sneakers really at all. And this is like 05 or 06. You know, that's what really, like, I saw the shift where, you know, suburban moms are asking me to buy my sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just weird. I was like, nah, you know, but I don't know. That's when I saw it, like, kind of hit mainstream, and then collecting became a mainstream thing after that. And that's really what did it for me, to be honest with you, you know?
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hey, what up?
I can think of a few, and they're all just big watershed moments, and I think we all remember these. I'm just going to list them off. Air Force Ones by Nelly.
Oh, God, yeah.
If I can pause you, it's the 3-pack on that one because you and I remember it clearly. I was going to say that just now. The Hollyberry Riff, the Pharrell Dunk. And
Oh, the Pharrell Dunk.
Air Force One video that set off the Air Force One craziness.
Oh, yeah.
Even like white on whites were selling out everywhere. And then the Jeff Staple Pigeon Dunk. That was another one.
That was nuts.
Riker remembers that one. When it's on the cover of a New York newspaper, it's a big deal. I was actually talking to Terrence about this. 2000 MTV VMAs,
Yes.
when Jay-Z appeared on stage with a white Jordan 23 jersey and the white and red fire red 5s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, any moment where like the mainstream gets a little peek at it. And then for me personally, I woke up and the M&M Jordan 4s were $15,000.
Oh, Jesus. That happened out of nowhere. That happened out of nowhere, man. Because, like, hey, I've been following that shoe for forever. And, like, literally, he's right. Overnight, it was just 15 grand. Like, whoa, wait a minute. These were just $4,500, like, the other day.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to, like, really.
Yeah, I passed a few for like $5 grand. I'm like, and then it's 15,000. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Back to the pricing thing. That's too much money.
15 grand.
15 grand is way too much. 5
Yeah.
grand, I mean, I can do.
Yeah.
10, I've done, so I'm not proud to say it, but I've done it. But 15, I don't know, you got to draw the line somewhere. But
15 is bananas.
yeah.
15 is crazy.
To me, 2 is bananas.
Oh, and also one more, the Cool Gray 11 launch. At least in California.
That was so
At
easy
the-
for me.
At the Arden Fair Mall
Yeah.
in Sacramento, riots. And I remember hearing about it in the news. So any kind of like situation where there's like, it appears in the news or newspapers in the mainstream, that's when it kind of crosses over.
Yeah, no, I got you. I can imagine those. Jermaine, we were actually talking about what was the, when did you see the shift in the sneaker culture actually?
Which shift? Just from
Just in the culture.
underground to
in general.
mainstream?
Well, okay, so I think for us, we were talking about the ones that kind of like made the industry go from this thing where it was just like, seemed like cool community to this commoditized like proposition that, you know, kind of messed things up a little bit, I think, in my opinion. Or switched the culture, or shifted the culture.
It's a fully loaded question coming from outside where it's raining. What did these guys say? I might be able to piggyback off of what they said.
I brought up the DMP release and how crazy it was and how basically that went.
Well, the DMP release was kind of piggybacked off of the hype around like a couple years prior with like the Laser 4, the Black University Blue 12 package with the hoodie, the hat,
Yeah, Jumpman 23.
Jumpman 23.
Yeah.
And it just started creating an online frenzy of
Oh, dude.
Alex and I went back a little further. He went to the Nelly
Yeah.
video, and then I reminded him of.
Yeah.
I was in LA at the time, and
Yeah.
it was the Halle Berry riff, Pharrell Dunk, and the Nelly.
The artist series.
Yeah, the artist series was like.
I still got my Espos that are cracked. Like mine
Yeah,
are
a
thread.
buddy of mine just had me bring a pair of Espos over to Terrence the other day. But, and it's like the whole thing was, for me, it soured me. That was the first time I saw people standing in line overnight, and I was like, what?
Yeah, like,
Because
what is this?
I've been blessed. I've usually been blessed where I usually get a hookup on my sneakers. Like I had somebody who worked in most of the stores.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we got your size. Like,
Yeah.
So
No, I agree with that point as well. I mean, once you start collaborating with people and influencers from other genres, footwear is one thing, music is another. And then you just resonate to a whole new crowd. And I can see why you said that point, and I completely agree. That was a big deal with the Pharrell dunks.
Oh, the Pharrell dunks were crazy.
That's
Yeah.
that's one of my grails.
Yeah.
And Index has a pair right now,
Yeah.
and it's like $400.
Ah.
I got this business that I need to run. It's too much for me.
What about your boy Wale with the whole
Yeah.
Foamposite thing?
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Tell us a little story
That was
about
interesting.
Esaie.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
I know some
Yeah.
great things.
yeah, well, no, I mean, so literally, I mean, like he and shout out to Sneaker Man Dan and a bunch of other kids who used to go back to the Maryland sales office from Nike. They would just their sample size. Mm-hmm. They would buy the sample size shoes and they'd come and flex on Nike Talk and they'd have it like way past early. And you know, I'll be quite honest, I'm not there anymore, whatever, and everything. And you know, some of the Eakins who worked at the brand knew at the time, but I had no problem if I knew there was a model that could use a little extra help and also happen to fit his persona. Because a big thing that I think a lot of brands miss nowadays is the fact that they just want to send anybody anything. When you know the consumer and you know the product and you know the influencer, you can kind of create that perfect little. You can work those things together to get a good impact on it.
Yeah.
But if not, you just kind of get this contrived, like, you know, Wale in Air Max 1s or whatever. He's not an Air Max 1 guy. He's a Foamposite guy. You know, so
Definitely.
it's like sending him that type of stuff kind of makes sense.
It hit, man. I remember when he was like busting out his collection, dude. All of a sudden, man, like foams, everybody was rocking foams, man. Everybody. And then the whole Galaxy Foamposite release, I was there in LA when that went down, and it was insane. It was insane.
I was working at Nike at the time, and yeah, I mean, seriously, it was super insane.
Yeah.
Like I remember working at Nike at the time, and I had people calling me, trying to offer me $5-10 grand for a shoe, and I was like, I like my job.
Yeah, I like my job, right?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that time too, because that was actually around the time when I first met you. E. I was doing my doo-doo duties. You know what I'm saying? Get my janitor
Yes.
on campus. And I remember that track came out, and then I realized what you were working on, the product that you were working on. And then what was the other track the one you did with A-Track?
Yeah, it was a Nike Boots one, and then I'm not sure.
I think it was called My Sneakers, or I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was for like a mixtape that they did for, I think, like Nike Plus or something like that. Like I remember hearing that. I used to play both of those songs all the time. There was one song not so much. I was a big Iverson guy, so I was like, whatever.
Nah.
That was also a huge, really important, cool piece, I think, for the culture at the time. Like that was a truly pure connection where, I mean, we just literally, like Dan emailed me and said, well, we had a new song called Nike Boots. You guys can do something with it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that was pretty
And
cool
that
times, though,
turned into
man.
a good branding moment as well as
It did.
product. So,
Definitely.
young Riker rolling in the paint bucket.
He said he's got to pull up.
He's having fun.
I'm pulling up.
Hey, so did you guys
Sorry,
ever
White House
think?
guys.
Yeah. Did you guys ever think that this would turn into a business? Especially like you and Mikey.
Yeah, so when I first started collecting, I was kind of against resellers, to be honest with you. I was like, because you'd be in the front of, they might beat you to the line, and I was like, hey, man, you got my 13, and I waited all this time, and now I don't have my 13 because of you. So, yeah, that was kind of something that we were kind of against at first.
Pick it up.
No. Yeah. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, that's making a little bit of noise. Too much noise with the bucket.
Oh, no worries. So let me go back to that. I was like not really into that growing up, but basically after I started selling a few of mine, to kind of go back on what Jermaine was saying earlier, I would have 4 pairs of a black and red 13, the 2004 one.
Yo, this one's
Oh, this one's, yeah, okay. So I would sell like 3 of them just to get something that I really liked. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of got me into selling sneakers, is selling my own stuff to get something, like he said, quantity or quality over quantity. And that's what really got me like, wait a minute, like I can sell this. And I sold these for like $250, but I bought them for like $170, like this is crazy. And I was like, oh wow, well I'm making money, and now I get to go buy this PE that I really love on eBay for X amount of dollars. And I only had to get rid of like 4 of my sneakers that I have triples, quadruples of. Yeah. So that's really what got me into it. And I didn't think, at the time that, there wasn't like Flight Club really around that time, I think. Yeah, I think Flight Club started around like 2006 or 2007, somewhere around there. But yeah, it wasn't really in my mind until I really started selling on eBay, like other people's collections and stuff like that. I was like, wait a minute, there's a business here. And then when I moved to LA, I moved to Orange County, I'm sorry. I moved to Orange County, I started hanging out in LA. And then basically like, it's one of those things that like I saw stores down there. And, I hung out with a lot of those guys that own stores, and I started getting used to like, oh man, this consignment thing is great. And, shout out to Riff LA. I would go in there all the time, and they treated people like with respect. It wasn't one of those things that you go in there and they're a cool guy you or nothing like that. And which is kind of like a normal thing, certain places you go. And that's when me and Mikey were like, yo, why don't we bring a sneaker store to Portland? You know what I'm saying? And kind of do it like, like Riff does it. And just to be honest with you, I've always been, like, hey man, they're a huge inspiration to us, to why we did this, So yeah, I mean, I didn't know starting that it would be, like back when I used to collect like hardcore, I didn't think it would be like this. But man, as the years, as I grew older, like I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty cool. And now I'm in a business where I see cool sneakers all day, and I get to hang out with people like this. I mean, this is fucking dope, dude. And I'm being honest, like, and I'm never jaded with sneakers. I don't, I do see a lot of cool stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I'm always like, yeah, I still am interested 24/7.
Watch the table bump shoulders.
Oh, sorry.
Make sure,
Hey, man, we messing up our mics, bro. It's the
yeah.
first one.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. Just technical difficulties
no
over
worries,
here.
no worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at, man.
How about you?
Yeah, early on I realized that yes, this could definitely turn into a business in general. For me, no. Just because I'm selfish and I'm a hoarder.
Yes.
Yeah, but essentially, back then I saw prices, secondhand market, fluctuating, 100% increase. Like, what the? Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely saw potential, with the industry, turning into a business. So I remember seeing Croatian styles Paris dunk photos, like 30 plus
those
pairs.
are crazy. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So,
Plus Paris and Gay pair at least.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that dude. Another guy's been around forever.
Yeah. those like Dre's photo killed it back then.
Shout out to Croatia stuff.
Yeah. So I definitely realized, early on that this could definitely turn into a lucrative business. Just not for me.
Yeah, I still struggle with it a little bit and everything, but like I've definitely figured it out a little bit more. But for eons, I would never. I was like, no. Why would I sell my shoe? No, this is mine.
Yeah, we all been there.
Yeah.
We all been there.
So just kind of wrap it up real quick, and maybe Alex, you can bring Riker back over for this last part because it's like our last question was one of. But it's what's your take on collecting today? Just if you guys can just do a quick round robin conversation about this and everything.
I think social media has like a huge influence on like younger people. Like, hey, like this is kind of the like people set a bar, but there's basically like, hey, this is my collection. Your shit should be like this, and I think that's kind of a negative thing. Like when we were growing up, it's just like what we liked. There was no influencers. Like it wasn't really like that growing up, and so we would just get like how.
Y'all were technically the influencers.
Nah. It's one of those things like there wasn't really anybody to go off of back then. You know what I'm saying? And to go back to my, earlier conversation when I seen Alex, like, and, I was like, whoa, this dude has some crazy stuff. I saw, the Soul Collector magazines and everything. It's one of those things. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like, collecting now is like way different than when we were collecting. But I don't want to be that guy that says that. But it is true, though. I mean, I see a lot of people like, yo, what's dope? What should I get? And I'm like, bro, get what you like, dude. Don't ask fucking me. Like, why the fuck would you ask me? But it's one of those things, man. Like you just get what you like, and I don't want to be cliche and say that, but it's so true, man. Like don't you know, just like if you like something, get it, man. You know, and don't get it because you think it's gonna, you know, go up in value and you might just hit a lick or something. You know, just get it because you fucking like it, dude. You know, and that's where I'm at with that. And a lot of people look at like these guys that are on Instagram and social media, and they're like, man, I gotta be like that dude. I mean, fuck that, dude. Don't be like that, dude. Just do what you want, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't stand it when you know that type of stuff happens. You know, just be yourself. Who cares what that dude has? I mean, he might have a lot more money than you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So that's my take on it. You know, be honest with you. I mean, I'm not trying to be sour or anything like that, but it's true, man. I've seen it change, and it's just like for good and bad. But I have to really say this and be clear with that, you know. But that's definitely my take on collecting nowadays. I mean, just get what you like, man.
I'm gonna have to piggyback off of T. I mean, I've always said since day one, you know, buy what you like. Some people say that I have a crazy collection.
You do.
We'll say that.
Well, here's the thing. I have a crazy collection. If I fill this table up with 20 or 30 shoes that are crazy, you might be crazy to me, but you have other collectors out there. Half of them might like that shit, and others might say, why the hell are you buying a Jordan 11 cleat? Why do you have, you know, a size 16 pair made for so-and-so? You know, you can't wear them. Yes, I can't wear them, but they're my shoes and they're in my collection. You know, I spent, you know, hours and hours of, you know, work, time, energy, money on, you know, curating this collection personally for myself. It shouldn't matter to me if you like it or not. You know what I mean? Thank you if you like it, and thanks for saying I have a crazy collection. But at the end of the day, it's mine. You know, there are shoe boxes with content in my room, in storage. And that's how I look at it, because I buy what I like. And that's just my perspective. Other people today, more so than before, in my opinion, buy to stunt. They buy because they want to be cool and accepted by their peers. I mean, who says that's bad too? I mean, I don't know. To me, it's bad, but that's my opinion. You know what I mean? But it's always been like that. But the percentages have changed. I see a larger percentage of kids and young adults, old adults doing that today more so than before. And that's just my take on how it's changed. And that's cool. You're buying all the hype stuff. Keep doing that, because I'm not. You know, I'm out there looking for old, you know, Air Force Ones. Like, you know, I'm looking for old Atmos Air Force Ones that no one is, you know, no one's paying attention to.
You mean those gray blue ones? Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, the linens, you know, the mushrooms, all those white cocoa, all those Air Force Ones. You know, don't look for those because I'm looking for them.
Don't look for those because I'm looking
so-
for it.
Yeah, just don't.
Shout out to the homie PG knows. He knows
PG
who they
knows.
are.
Hey.
He knows who they are.
PG knows.
PG
Yeah,
knows.
he knows. Yeah, thank God he's not a size 9.
Yeah, but Paulie be holding out. I've seen him 11 and a half Taiwans the other day, Paulie.
Ah,
Hey.
jeez. I need Taiwans and the JD. Yeah.
Y'all talking some stuff I ain't never heard before.
These are force dudes right here, man. I'm gonna ease up. I'm gonna ease back for a little bit. I'm gonna get back here for a little bit.
So for those listening,
Let's let Alex dive into this real quick, because it's the last one we got for you guys today.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna be a sneaker diplomat here. I mean, sneaker culture is here to stay. You know, it started small.
Hallelujah.
It's gotten big. It might get small again. It might get bigger.
Oh, jam.
Everything's cyclical. Everything happens in waves. Everything, you know, the people that don't really have the culture or the passion for it, you know, they'll be gone, and that's fine. I mean, we've seen that happen.
No, you gotta come off the table. The table, the mic should go off.
So we've seen that happen, and you know, that's great. I mean, they further sneaker culture for their tenure, and then they're gone, and that's fine. I mean, people like us, we've been here a while, and we love sneakers because we genuinely love sneakers. And you know, I started when I was in high school. I don't think I'm 40 years old, and I still love sneakers. I love the smell. I love unboxing them. I love reading about them. I love all of that. So that's why we're here, and I think sneaker culture will be fine. It's just the different waves that it takes, and the different, you know, like the money era, like people that want to have the biggest, awesomest collection. Cool, you know, the people that have 5 pairs that love everyone. Cool, that's great, you know, and we welcome all of that. And I think a lot of, again, just to go back to the point one, a lot of friendships, a lot of community, and again, that's why we're here. That's why I'm here.
yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
Bro, I got nothing else, man. I can say a lot of things about all these things, and I'm sure you could too. But I mean, it's really dope that you know, through sneakers and through, actually, we know each other from before, but it was actually still through sneakers.
It was. Your brother brought you over.
Yeah. My brother knew that T was into sneakers. He knew that I was into sneakers. So one time when they were hanging out, they used to work together, and he took me over to his house, and T gave me a pair of 12s. I was legit.
The OG white and reds.
Yeah, I still have them.
You do?
Yeah, dude. I still
Nice,
have them.
man.
Actually, I want to soul swap them because the outsole got all hard.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now if I wear them, I'm like this
Yep.
sliding across.
Oh, yeah.
Sliding across the floor. But
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I still got you, though. Hey, look,
Hey, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think all of us sitting here, you know, we know exactly where we met. We know exactly how we met, and we're still, you know, friends from
Yeah.
sneakers.
We're like
Definitely.
actual friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I make fun of Ian all the time on text messages all day, every day, all day, every day.
I make fun of him all the time too. When he doesn't wear socks to his wedding.
Oh, man.
It's like so white that
It
it
looks
looks
like
like
white
he's wearing
socks.
socks.
Oh, dude, that was so dirty, dude. I still get that shit all
Yeah,
day,
that's
bro.
why
Every
we'll
day.
make
Text
sure-
messages all the
Make sure
time.
it goes out there somewhere.
Man. Yeah,
Broke on
man.
white ankles.
Exactly. Seriously, man. It's all bad. I won't tan him. I won't tan him.
I know we can talk for hours on it and all day, but I think
Easy.
that's our time, folks. I want to thank
Well.
you all very much. Once again, if you get your social
Yeah.
outlets and everything.
Thank you for having us, man. No, thank you for having us. Honestly, I mean, like you inviting us on here is like it means a lot to me. I was like, yo, when you told me, hey, come on here, I was like, that's fucking dope, man. Thank you, because coming from you, a guy I respect, especially in the sneaker community as well. I mean, it's a big thing, man. Sit down here and talk to you in front of everybody. I think it's real cool.
and don't
And
sleep.
Ian.
He's got some kicks, man.
Oh, dude, and the knowledge is crazy. Just when he talks to you, just fucking listen, dude. That's all I gotta say. And just sit there and listen. Just sit there and listen.
Yeah. He said, I just pay attention to me people and get fired.
All right. Thank y'all much.
Thank you.
On Wednesday.
Peace,
Peace out.
peace.